Mark chapter 11, I want to start reading with verse 12. And I want to deal with something called the command of commands. I want to finish it out this way. I've learned something about God, that God don't suggest things, He commands things. To the point that as you grow in the fullness of the stature of Christ, He will tell you to command Him. Now, when He tells you to do that, it's a little nervous to do that. He says, command ye me concerning my word. That doesn't mean you snap your finger at God, because you'll lose your snapper if you do. But He says, command ye me concerning my word, which means you should know His word before you tell Him what His word says. And you can say it in a command, because that's how powerful God's word is. And that's how much He is, because you can't separate Him from His word. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God. Him and His word are one and the same. Theologians try to do that all the time with dispensations and times and seasons. But God never changed. He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. And in Mark chapter, I like the old King James Version. I want to read Mark chapter 11, verse 12. And on the morrow, when they were come from Bethany, He was hungry. Seeing a fig tree afar off, having leaves, He came, if haply He might find anything thereon. And when He came to it, He found nothing but leaves, for the time of figs was not yet. And Jesus answered and said unto it, now notice evidently the tree could hear Him, no man eat fruit of thee hereafter forever. And His disciples heard it. He was expecting something from that fruit tree. Now, if you understand about the fig, a lot of people have actually criticized Jesus. Well, the fig tree didn't do nothing wrong, because the times of figs were not yet. What happens is there are some fig trees, when it happens in the early spring, it'll form what we call a fruit bud. And then from then, it'll give you actually a two-tier harvest of figs. And Jesus, you got to understand, this is the first day of Passion Week. This is Monday. See, and He's got this on His mind. He's going to give His life. And He's realized, and He's really sad because the Jewish people were rejecting Him. But actually, He rejected them. He said, I'll give it to other people. So when He saw that this tree didn't do what it was supposed to do, He wasn't mad at the tree. In other words, if you don't do what God says to do, then things are going to happen quickly. See, we always talk about the love of God, and I believe in that, but there's another side to Him called the severity of God. And today, a lot of people don't understand the judgment side of the severity of God. And there is a side to Him that you don't mess with. That's right. You see what I'm saying? He looked at this, and it was supposed to have figs. And I kind of thought of it like a person. See, it dressed itself up with wonderful leaves. It looked green. It looked prosperous, but there was no fruit on it. Don't that sound like some Christians? Yeah. Don't that sound like some denominations? They're all dressed up, but they don't have nothing to eat on it. Now, He's going to give His life so we could come boldly to the throne of grace. And His disciples heard Him say, and I want to say it again, no man eat fruit of thee hereafter forever. Then He goes into the temple and He cleanses it out. Verse 20 is where I want to get to. And in the morning as they passed by, they saw the fig tree dried up from the roots. And Peter, calling to remember, saith unto Him, Master, behold, the fig tree which thou cursest is withered away. And Jesus answering said unto them, have faith in God. I call that the command of commands. Have faith in God. See, a lot of times ministries and people don't realize they don't have faith in God. They have faith in their company. Yep. They have faith in somebody that might have a few dollars. They don't realize they leave God out of the situation. Well, how are we going to do this? Yet he told me to believe the unbelievable, receive the impossible, because it's doable. And people say, well, wait, how can you do that? You have forgotten the God part of it. Yep. That's what He does. And I've said it so many times, if you're not using your faith on something impossible, you're not using your faith at all. Because if it was possible, you could do it yourself. So what are you waiting on? It's just called hard work. Have faith in the command of command. So this fig tree looked real good. And there are a lot of people that look real good, but they don't have any fruit in their life. Come on. They had an opportunity to produce a second harvest. This was the first time. He was hungry. They had an opportunity to bless the Lord, and they refused to do it. Now, they're dressed up. They look green. They're perfect. But there's nothing in there. And that's why it dried up from the roots. Because, see, that's where the life substance of a tree is. It's in its roots. You can kill it by just covering the roots with sand. It takes about a year to kill an oak tree, a live oak tree. The sand to get to where the tree can't breathe. then eventually it just dies. A lot of people don't realize that, but that's exactly what happens. That's why you can't put too much dirt on a piece of property if there's trees around the root, because you'll smother it. It is a breathing, living thing. Now I want to talk about that. He said, have faith in God. And I like that. And the Lord said, that's my command of commands. So write this down if you're taking notes. Well, Christ came into the world to help men believe in God. People think he came to save you. Well, that's one of the things he did. He said, I came that you might know the Father. He said, when you see me, you see the Father. So notice he always spoke about the Father. That was his mission. I only say what my Father says. I only do what my Father says to do. That's it. No more, no less. And yet everybody else trying to get him to do this, and do that, including his mama. Yeah, because mothers can push you. You know what I'm saying? Nothing wrong with that, but I'm just saying what he said I came to do and to say that you might know who my Father is. And a lot of people don't talk much about the Father, but you don't play games with the Father. You see what I'm saying? And it's amazing what the Father will do and how they work so perfectly together. Some people don't believe in the Trinity. The reason why I do, because I'm a Trinity. I'm made in the image of God. I have a spirit housed in a soul, and I'm clothed in a body. You got God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Ghost. Now, if you got a problem with that, that's okay. But that don't change. Like one man said, I don't believe in God. I said, that don't change it. Like as if that the world's going to crash because you don't believe in God. Still true anyhow. So Christ came to the world to help men believe in God. That's why he was saying this. The reason why that tree dried up, because he believed in his Father. That when he spoke, his Father would back it. He would back everything he said. See what I'm saying? So he was very careful what he said. Yes. Think about that. The power of words are powerful when you understand what's behind them. Yes. You see. So when you see this, write this down. You're not simply here to pass the time, but to fight for a cause. What is your cause in life? You're not here just to simply pass the time, but to fight for a cause. Everyone must have a cause. Because without a cause, you're not going anywhere to do anything. That's what King David, when he was just a kid, 17-year-old pimple-faced kid, red-headed boy, come down there, and a Goliath spouting all over the place, and he said, is there not a cause? What are you guys doing? But look how big he is. It don't make a difference how big he is. Have faith in God. See, now when you tell people they start believing for unbelievable, impossible things, see, they're thinking only in an intellectual way. That just can't happen. Yes, it can. Why? Because you have faith in God. Well, what happens if all you people leave? It wouldn't make a lick of difference to God. He can still fix it. Now, he uses people, don't misunderstand me, and I believe in that. He said, I cause men to give unto your bosom. He will do those things. But if they wasn't there, he'd do it himself. See, everyone knows, like when my family would go out, I don't have a very big family. I only have one daughter, one granddaughter, and a son-in-law. And Winky the bulldog, and Peachy the killer cat. Peachy bad, son. Peachy takes you out in a second, and she brings Jody, my daughter, dead birds, snakes, and just puts it down to their feet to feed my daughter. She loves my daughter. I mean, Jody got away with animals. I ain't never seen nothing like that. And then Winky, Lord Jesus, man. Winky's the same way too. But when we all get together, see, they know that the white-headed man gonna take care of everything. Why? Because I'm supposed to. Why? I'm the Father. Well, Dad, we don't know if we can do that. The Father's here. But Dad, and she calls me El Shaddai. I call him El Shaddai. See, so when I understand that I'm not just here to pass the time, I'm here for a cause. I preach the gospel for a cause, not so you can know who I am. I'm not really interested in notoriety. I don't care much about that stuff. Because see, when you're on television a lot, you can't even go to the bathroom by yourself. Last time I was in California, I decided to go to one of them malls out there. You know, you need to start going because they may be gone pretty soon. Amazon taking over. You see what I'm saying? And I'm saying brick and mortar stores are having some trouble. And the man said, you just in Duplantis? I said, yes, I am. I said, excuse me, I got to go to the bathroom. I go with you. I said, no, I want to do this myself. You know, well, I'll just stand outside the stall. I can't concentrate. No, I'm not doing that. No. I mean, now you think that sounds crazy, but people will do that. I said, don't you have something to do? Well, yeah. I said, well, go do it. I'll find you. It's amazing, you know. Or if I'm out running and jogging, I do a lot of exercise, you know, and people want me to pray for them while I'm running, sweating like a Missouri mule. I don't want to pray for you. I don't want to put my hands on you, but I'm sweating like crazy. It don't make no difference, but it makes a difference to me. So I got a treadmill. But I prefer to run outside. Why? I like looking around, see what's going on. It's nice and stuff like that. And but I don't mean that privately. I can't do that. I can't. So I get on the treadmill. And, you know, that's running and not going anywhere. Does that sound like your church? I'm getting out of town in about 25, 30 minutes. I'm gone. I mean, are y'all running and ain't doing nothing? Oh, Lord Jesus. Why? Because do you have faith in God? Or do you have faith in your highest tide payer? Or if something happens, if you live in hurricane country like I do, and something's coming in and they tell everybody to get out, and you lose a couple of offerings, oh, Jesus, what we're going to do? And most of the time, you don't recover them. Because they usually spend that money on hotels and food, you know, because they're out there. They weren't expecting that to happen. And let me just say this, if you live in hurricane country, quit praying against hurricanes. You're messing up the Weather Channel. It's going to Houston, man. Oh, the name of no, it just turned around, it's going to Florida. They're just moving it all over the place. And the Weather Channel is looking like idiots. They don't know what to do. You don't pray against a hurricane. You take authority over a hurricane. How do you do that? It has a name. So, Lord, poke its eye out. You disturb that eye, that hurricane's going to shut down. Wind shear and dry air. It hates that. And it will suck it in. And it's gone. That's right. It'll just come down and it'll bring water where it's supposed to bring water. You see what I'm saying? Not in a flooding stage. Let me tell you something about God. He don't have to hurt us. Nature can kill you by itself. You know, Mother Nature. Why it's not called Father Nature? You don't mess with Mama Grizzly. So you're not here to simply pass the time. Now, he cursed that fig tree. Now, he didn't actually cuss it. There's some people pick that up. Well, bless God, Jesus cursed, so can I. No. Now, that's ignorance going to seed. But you'd be surprised how many people would pick that up and use that as an example to let a few words fly that shouldn't fly. You know, one time I wanted to cuss so bad, and the Lord said, what's the problem? I said, it's the only way I can communicate to you how I feel. And that was wrong. You know, because sometimes you just have enough, you know what I'm saying? But that don't make it right. He said, have faith in God. Now, he's telling this to his disciples. Why? Because they're leaders. Leaders should always have faith. Let me tell you, I am the leader of Duplantis Ministries. If I go home, if I go to the office, and I'll be in the office on Monday, I'll be flying back from another church, but I'll be there on Monday, and this ain't true, and I just call the whole staff in, and I'll say, you know, I don't know if I can pay y'all in the next couple of weeks. Even though it's a lie, it will shake them people from the front chair to the back chair. Why? Because they have faith in me. And I have to constantly remind my staff and constantly remind everybody that this is a faith ministry. We're believing God for things that are unbelievable, impossible, simply because they're doable. See, write this down. To have faith in God is an act of the will. It's an act of your will to have faith in that command of command. It's an act of the will and a loyalty to the will of God. What is the will of God? Really, if you want to know what the will of God is, it's very simple. Genesis chapter 1, Genesis chapter 2, and the last 2 chapters in the book of Revelation. That's the will of God for man. You ought to read them. 4 chapters. Between them 4 chapters, there's 1,186 chapters of killing, stealing, and destroying by an archenemy called Satan. But Jesus is coming back to this planet, and we're going back to Genesis chapter 1, Genesis chapter 2, and the last 2 chapters in the book of Revelation, and you're going to walk in the cool of the day with God forever. You see, a woman has really been blamed, saying that she's the one that messed up the garden. Well, if you listen to what Adam said, he wasn't blaming Eve. He was blaming God. It's that woman you gave me. Oh. See, we automatically looking at that woman. No. Adam wasn't blaming Eve. He wanted Eve. He was blaming God. In other words, if you God, then why'd you? It's that woman you gave me. He was blaming, pointing his finger at God. Yep. And all God wanted to do was give him a great blessing. A great blessing. And she caught most of the trouble. Now, she did listen to the devil, but my God, he was standing with her. Yep. He could have said, shut up. You're talking to my wife. You have no authority and right here. But he didn't. And then he's got the gall and the audacity to blame God for what God gave him. So he's blaming God for Eve. You ever thought about that? Yeah. And then, of course, Eve catches it all. You know, it's that woman thou gavest me. No, he's saying, God, hey, you the one did this. God, if you wouldn't have gave me her. Well, why did he give it? Because I'm pretty sure he's walking around in the garden there, and they got a mama cow and a daddy bull. Where's my mama cow? Don't look at nobody. Where's my heifer? Now, all I said was heifer. Y'all thought size. That's exactly what y'all thought of. Was that a big heifer or a little heifer? It don't make no difference. To have faith in God is an act of the will. So I will to believe that. I will to believe these unbelievable things. And I have a loyalty to that will. That's why I don't make excuses for the blessing of God in my life. If somebody tries to accuse me of something, I said, it's the Lord that did that for me. And when they go to accuse, well, God wouldn't say that. Well, you don't know God. Why are you saying that? Because I remember the Lord thy God, for it is he. Why are you mad at me if I'm blessed? It ain't my fault. It's he that did it. And I'm not blaming him for it. I'm thanking him for it. For it is he that giveth thee power to get wealth. Well, to establish his covenant. Why don't you read the first few verses? He said, when you've built beautiful houses and therein, go read that. Not house, when you build beautiful houses. He don't care. Church world does. He don't care what you live in, what you drive, what you fly, or what you wear. Church world does. Because on your best day, you can't impress God with your wealth. He's the one, my God, he owns the universe. Think about that for a minute. I've said it many times. I mean, asteroids, they call them planet killers, but really the scientists, we want them not because they're planet killers. We want them because they're worth trillions of dollars. They got gold, silver, magnesium, iron. I mean, if we can just stop them from, they can destroy our planet, but they got what we want. And there's trillions of them out there. And that's God's garbage. That's the garbage. That's the stuff that did not coagulate, come together and make a planet. That's the garbage. You ain't seen the good stuff. Do you see that? Write this down. There's no reality in a belief that is not acted upon. Do you act on your belief? Why? Because faith without works is dead. I'm not embarrassed to tell people I'm believing my God for a Falcon 7X. Yesterday I got hit again. Did anybody see that yesterday? I had Inside Edition eating my lunch yesterday at the book signing. I'll tell you what, I love these security people that got the Copeland guy. I didn't know, she just looked at me, she said, I need an interview with you. Did y'all see that? How many people saw that? You saw that? Man, she was hollering, wasn't it? I need an interview with you. I said, ma'am, I'm doing a book sign. I can't interview you with that. Why do you need a $54 million plane? And my God, the guy grabbed, she said, don't put your hand on me. Don't put your hand on me. I'm the media. And I love this guy. He waited about 2 seconds. Boom. Next thing I saw her legs up in the air. She's gone. She's gone, Jack. She's gone. Boom. I could hear her hollering. And I came back and said, what'd you do with her? He said, I made her Outside Edition. There is no reality. That just happened. How many people were there? You saw, am I telling the truth? You heard it, huh? Boy, it made the people in line got mad. I thought, my Lord, man, if then people come out the line and start beating these people? Could that be something? Wouldn't that be something? Inside Edition came to the Southwest Believers Convention and left in pieces. No, can't do that. We're not going to do that. Usually when people ask me that, first thing I say, well, how much money you make?
Oh, yeah.
How much money you make? And why do you need that much money? Why do you need that? They don't want it when it turns on to them. So it's really, that's just ignorance going to seed, see? So there's no reality in the belief that is not acted upon, because faith without works is dead. So I'm always looking for something impossible to believe, and God has always given me something impossible to believe. In every area of my life. Physically, spiritually, financially. Jody tells me all the time, my daughter, she said, Dad, just everything you touch prospers. I said, well, because I expect it to. Well, Dad, you're the strong, she loves me. She said, you're the strongest man. Most people would be crying, you're getting slammed, and you smiling and laughing. I said, think about it. I was the head news in Kyrgyzstan. I don't even know where that's at. I just came back from Guadalcanal. Remember that guy told us, Jerry? I said, where you from? He said, we're from Auckland, New Zealand. I said, did you hear about all this stuff coming against me? He said, yes. I said, well, I thought, did you hear about it here? He said, no, you were front page news in Auckland. So I told Good Morning America, thank you for making me famous. There's no such thing as bad press. It'll turn around. And the reason why I'm not worried about it is because I didn't do nothing wrong. You said, now, if I did something wrong, that's a whole other ballgame. I ain't done nothing wrong. I'm just believing God. They're fighting my belief and fighting the dream. Well, why don't you use that money and just pay and just feed the poor? Well, why didn't Jesus take that donkey and that coat that he rode into Jerusalem and slaughter it and give it to the poor? And why did he wear that seamless garment? Oh, we're going to get it. This is going to be on the news too. Why did he wear that seamless garment? That cost a lot, that people were gambling for, because you don't gamble for rags.
That's right.
You're gambling to get something better than what you got, right? Right? Well, why bless God? Why did he have to wear that kind of clothes? He could have used that for... See, you know what you're doing? When you criticize and try to destroy someone's dream, see those people have said that? They're going to come with somebody going to want to pay off their house. Oh, they're going to say, Lord will say, no, because you criticize him. Now you take that money that you're going to pay your house off and give it to the poor. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with taking care of the poor. I believe in that. Don't misunderstand me. But my point, even if I told them the truth, even if I show them the actual physical receipts, they still wouldn't believe it.
That's right.
See, there's no reality in the belief that is not acted upon. Faith without works is dead. So I decided to put works with my faith and believe this. Have faith in God, the command of commands. Write this down. More faith in God and less in policy. More faith in God and less in policy shows a higher wisdom, a nobler courage, and abiding results. Let me say it again. More faith in God and less in policy, watch this, shows a higher wisdom, a nobler courage, and abiding results. When Jesus told that fig tree, you will die. If you won't do what we created you to do, then you don't belong here. Think about that, ladies and gentlemen. God is serious about touching the world. I've said it here before, I'll say it again. I had the Lord one time in prayer. He said, make me wealthy, Jesse. I said, wealthy? My God, I think you're doing good. He said, I'm thinking of gold streets, diamond barrel. I said it I think a couple of days ago. Gold streets, diamond barrel, jasper, onyx, ruby, gates of pearl. I mean, you think about it. My God, that's amazing. He said, I don't count my wealth by that. I count my wealth by the souls I possess. Now go get them. Go do it. Do you see what I'm saying? Why? Well, do you ever get tired? All the time. So what? One time I told God, I'm tired. He said, sleep. I said, well, I could have thought of that. He said, why didn't you? Yeah, most of your problems have got a very easy answer if you just listen for a minute. Have faith in God. So when God tells me to do something that I know I can't do, it's actually very easy. Why? Because that's the command of commands. Now, I will do the work to make that happen. Faith without works is dead. What would thou have me to do? You see, whether God knocks me down or picks me up, I'm going to say the same thing that the Apostle Paul says, Lord, what will thou have me to do? See, he wants you to do something. He's ever working. He's ever increasing. Well, if he's ever working and ever increasing, the Bible says, therefore be ye therefore imitators of God as dear children. So I should be ever working and ever increasing. Why shouldn't I? Remember the 2008 recession? People came up to me, you know, my ministry grew 30%. In a good year, 30% is good. They said, well, how come it didn't affect you? We didn't participate. What? See, that blows your head off, doesn't it? We didn't participate. What do you mean you didn't participate? We didn't. Why? No. Yeah, but you living here. I don't make no difference. I had one of the major banks of America. The vice president told me I did an investment with them. And they said they had their financial gurus, you know. And I love them guys because, man, I learned from when I listened to them. These guys are brilliant, man. Brilliant in some of the stuff they say. So I'm just listening, and they said, now, Reverend Duplantis, you ought to take your money, put it over here, 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 and here. I looked at that. I said, well, I'll go home and pray about that. And they said, excuse me? I said, I'll go home and pray about that, and I'll let y'all know. You're going to go home and pray about it? I said, yeah. Yeah. Nobody's ever told you that? No, sir. I said, well, you know, God's doing pretty good. Oh, yeah, I guess to say he is. I said, I'll let you know. Came back 3 days later. I said, the Lord said, don't do anything you said. They just looked at me. I said, don't put my money here. I said, put my money here, over here, here, here. They said, you're going to lose your money. I said, well, it's mine, isn't it? He said, yes. I said, then I can lose it, right? He said, yes, you can. I said, but look at me. Bet on me. Because my God said. So they kind of went. Well, ladies and gentlemen, on Christmas Eve, Kathy meets one of the guys in the mall. We shopping. We like to shop on Christmas Eve. Why? Because most people done got their stuff. So you can kind of walk around, look at all the lights. I like that, you know. I like walking around, listening to the Christmas music. I'm just enjoying myself. Christmas is my favorite time of the year. He sees Kathy. Oh, Mrs. Duplantis, we want to give you, Mr. Jesse, a fruit basket. This is the biggest fruit basket I ever saw in my life. Looked like a coffin. That thing was huge. It was huge. And he said, we went to his office, but the office was closed. It was Christmas Eve. I want my people off, you know. And we don't want it to spoil it. Beautiful. Some of it was, and then cut fruit. This thing was beautiful. Weighed about 85 pounds. It's like a coffin. It's huge. And he said, would you mind if I dropped it off at your house? So Kathy said, well, just a minute. She called. I love Kathy. She said, Jesse. I said, something wrong? Because I was shopping with her. And I said, listen, I'm finished, man. I'm going to go to the house and you finish. She said, okay. And I got a ride with one of my employees. I said, y'all going home? Yeah. I said, can y'all drop me off? Kathy, you come. Anyway, because all I do with Kathy is bring bags to the car. I become a bellman, you know, okay? Yeah. You know, all kind of stuff. Go get the car. Go do this. Go do that. Go do this, you know. So she calls me. She said, Jesse, the vice president of the bank wants to give us a fruit basket. I said, well, that's nice. Do you think I ought to tell him where we live? I said, Kathy, he got all our money. He know where we live. Well, you going to be all right? I said, yeah, I'm going to be all right. See, I said, yeah, tell him to come home. Now, when I go home, it's my house. I'm going to wear what I want to wear. I don't care what anybody says. It's my house. I got a pair of pajamas that Kathy Brown to throw away for at least 40-something years. It has no elastic, so you got to hold it. And I had to cut the legs off. And I'm walking around with this shirt, holding it just like that. He comes knocking on the door. Kat said, I can't believe you opened the door. I opened up the door and I said, how you doing? He goes, I don't care. I ain't here to please you. This is my house. He says, Merry Christmas. I said, Merry Christmas. He said, listen, we got a fruit, but can you help me? I thought, I said, oh, that's a good Lord. So I caught it like this, because I knew if I'd have turned this loose, Down she went. I mean, them pajamas are wonderful. You get up at night to go to the bathroom, you just do this. And you in shape, son. You do your business, pick them back up, walk back to the bed. Say what you want, I don't care. She been trying to throw them away. I like them pajamas. They got holes in them. There's a reason for that. That's all I'm gonna say about that. So, that's my man that took out the inside edition woman right here. Stand up, brother. You my hero. Stand up. I want people to say, stand up. Come on. Put the camera on this man here. Right. Woo! She's gone. Glory to God. It was a blessing. So I'm carrying this fruit basket, holding on to my jam and so he looks at me. He goes, so I had to put it on the counter, man. I said, Jesus, man, so everything, get this thing. I said, thank you. You didn't have to do that. Well, he said, you know, Ray, I want to tell you something. Do you remember in January? And I said, yes, sir. You know, our financial gurus didn't like what you said. You went home, prayed about it, and told them everything they said was wrong. He said, Mr. Duplantis, call me Reverend. He said, Reverend, you're the only one of our customers. Now, this is 2008 when everything's going south. What did Wall Street go down to, 6,500? So, I mean, it's diving, son. I mean, just going. You're the only one of our, this is Chase Manhattan. You're the only one of our employees that made money. I said, yeah. He said, listen, if God says anything about gold, let us know. That's exactly what he said. Why did you do? That's what the Lord told me. Just that simple. Do that. I have faith. I received the command of commands. Have faith in God. Now, one of them I didn't particularly care about, but I just did it because that's what he said. And it just worked out perfect. See, more faith in God, less in their policies, shows a higher wisdom, a nobler courage, and abiding results.
Thanks for listening to this powerful message by Jesse Duplantis. Remember to hit like, subscribe, and the notification bell in order to be up to date with all things Jesse Duplantis Ministries. For more information, visit our website at JDM.org.
This media is copyrighted by Jesse Duplantis Ministries for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this media or of any pictures or accounts without Jesse Duplantis Ministries' consent is strictly prohibited.